Welcome to the Magic on the Inside podcast by the Sisters Enchanted, where we chat magic, hot topics, personal development, and good old-fashioned life. Brew up something delicious and sit with us for a spell.
Welcome
to this episode
of the Magic on the Inside podcast.
I'm Sara, founder of the Sisters Enchanted.
And I'm Anna, co-founder of the Sisters Enchanted.
The chair again. Stop that. Okay. We are here with another special episode in this series of podcast episodes where we are chatting on tarot, the minor arcana. Specifically today we're talking about the pentacles as behavior.
Experience.
That was wands.
Was it? I just was looking at your notes. The behaviors, you're right.
I just said behavior and then you said experience.
You're right. I'm wrong. I'm really trying. We talked about this in the last podcast that you've chosen these new words. And usually I have resistance at first. And then when we start talking about it, it then makes sense. So obviously I just need a minute to talk about it.
In full disclosure, I hope there's a noise going. There's noises everywhere.
There are lots of noises today.
There's someone running water.
Never podcast responsibly.
Yeah, never podcast responsibly. This morning's been crazy. We had a team meeting before this. Mm-hmm. And Anna and I don't exactly love structure and organization, so that's always an adventure.
No, which is weird.
I don't love those
because
things.
I supposedly love structure and organization, but I think I only like it when it suits me.
Oh my gosh, this is a great topic for you today. Okay, you ready?
No, I told you this is going to bring out the shadow work of me.
The pentacles as behavior.
Uh-huh.
So, we are celebrating our fifth birthday. Our fifth birthday at the Sisters Enchanted. And we're celebrating with our tarot event on May 23rd. It's a live one-day event. And you can get into that by joining us in our Tarot Throwdown program. Or if you join us in our brand new Tarot Coach program, which will set you up to work with clients and other people, you also get a ticket to attend our one-day live event and also our virtual Witches Ball that evening. So we have limited seats for that. So it's to get in there, you need to be in Tarot Coach. So definitely check those out, tarotthrowdown.com for more information on that. But as part of our celebration, we've been doing these mini episodes all about tarot. And we talked about the swords as perception, wands as experience.
Yes.
And now we're talking about pentacles as behavior.
Obviously.
So pentacles, it's the suit of earth, the earth suit. And it's our story of our behavior in this lifetime. Now, much of our behaviors as adults stems from our experiences as little children. Little children. And what we learned and what we bring into adulthood with us and how we behave as a result of those experiences. So. Looking at pentacles as behavior, it's our behaviors that create the world that we live in. It's our thoughts, our perception, like swords, and then what we are actually doing with our day. Mm-hmm. So are we doing the act of going to work? Are we doing the act of exercising? Are we doing the act of working as team players?
Okay, I just sideswipey. I just had a whole, we were talking the other day about your imagination in your daydreams.
Yes.
Okay, well, I was just daydreaming about how we have...
We're podcasting and you're daydreaming.
I did. It was really real. I saw it. I didn't even see your face. I just saw this daydream. Would you like to know what it is? You could even call it an intuitive download.
Okay.
I think that we should have a comic strip that's animated, and then we could talk with our silly voices over it to describe all the cards in the suit. Like, hello, I have pentacle for you. And we talk like we do in our podcast jargon over an animated little cartoon.
Why don't you make that?
I just thought it was so silly because I was just thinking about how many weird voices that we do during this.
We do. Anna recently became the owner of an iPad and an Apple Pencil thing.
And by me, you mean my husband, because he adopted it as soon as it came to the house.
So that Anna could draw us things for the Sisters Enchanted. Sounds like you got a project on your hands.
Sounds like Chad has a project on his hands.
Okay, so pentacles as behavior. Are you doing the behaviors or are you not doing the behaviors, right? Mm-hmm. That you need to do. And what childhood stories are informing your ability to do or not do those behaviors. I just touched your boob, I'm sorry.
Did you? It didn't even feel it.
It was a light accident touch.
Light graze.
With my hands that were moving too much.
I didn't even notice.
Like I'm Italian, but I'm not one lick of Italian, so.
I didn't even notice.
Okay. Well, anyway, onward. That is the behaviors in the Pentacles. Now, what?
What do you think our childhood has to say about our behaviors?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's really interesting because, well, here's some examples. Let's do this. I have an example as to how to work through this with yourself and apply this to your life for some intentional work, or if you're interested in the Tarot Coach program, how you could do this with other people. And also, because it's here on the podcast, you could just do it with other people now anyway. So you're welcome. You could take the Suit of Pentacles, line it up, Ace through 10, and start going through it and asking yourself, how easy is it for me to, and then do the behavior of that card. So an example of the 3 of Pentacles, that's the teamwork card. And with the highlight of being in teamwork with people who might do things differently than you. So how easy is it for me to be in that situation, in a team situation where people, and that's a behavior, right? What do we do in that situation? So for me, I lash the F out.
Yes.
I rebel. Now what that's with my childhood, I have no idea, because I did not have like a strict, like my mom was the opposite of strict, so I had nothing to rebel against.
Well, I will say that I don't
know.
I wouldn't think that I'm one to rebel against these things, but it is becoming apparent that I am, which means that we're more alike than we knew.
We're like the same person.
We are. It's becoming scary, which I could say that in life, because we were always like the odd family, the odd family with the odd mom and the odd sisters, that we, even when we're not playing well with others, we tend to form a unified front.
Yes, it's true.
And that we can be at odds with each other, but it always kind of like turns into some sort of like cohesivity because we're just like.
So, see, this is a way though to ask yourself that question, right? What is my behavior in these situations? That's a shadow work question. It's a way to do self-coaching here. What is going on? When we look at the 5 of Pentacles, that's that card of like destitute, nothing's going to work out for me, I got no help.
I feel like we feel like that card a lot.
I know. How easy is it for me to fall into feeling that way? How easy is it for me to engage in behavior where I'm like, oh, no one can help me, there's no help for me? And then asking yourself why and what might be the story that has influenced that. What's another one? The 7 of Pentacles. There's like, oh my goodness, so much work to be done still. And what do you do in that position? What is your behavior when you look around? You just like, you cleaned out a closet, you pulled everything out, and now it's all got to go back in. What's your behavior in that moment? What feelings come up? What emotions come up? What behavior, what actions are you taking in your ability to move through that place? Your behavior's there. What is that like for you? So using the Pentacles, looking at them as behaviors, and then presenting yourself with the question of what do I do in those situations? Like the 9 or 10 of Pentacles. What is my behavior? The 10 of Pentacles specifically. Looking at that card of like retirement, affluence, family, like everything's good. What behaviors do I have that elicit that emotion in me? Do I have any behaviors that elicit that emotion in me? And if you can't think of any, if you're like, oh my goodness, I'm just like broken, I don't feel that way. Well, what's the behavior that's blocking you from, like, what's the thing that's blocking you? You know, so then the behavior you're taking is putting you in lack or not having enough money as opposed to the thing on the card.
I feel like...
What do you feel like?
Podcasting's really not for me because these always come up as like shadow work sessions for me. Always like, wah.
Just creak around in your chair.
I don't know why I have the creaky chair. But on a positive note, that is because like I know as you're like talking about these cards and I'm listening to my first initial reactions to myself and I know these things to be true about me. and I try not to let them defeat me. I try to, figure out how to best navigate that,
Yeah.
Thus, the coaching yourself through it. Or I know Sarah and I like to practice the coaching on each other a lot. The coaching.
Well, yeah. We actually, so a few of us on our team did a coach training together.
Yes.
And it was funny because immediately after, Anna was like, now Sarah.
You asked me to coach you.
I did. I was like kind of joking, but then you actually did it, and I was like, bam!
Yay! Yay! It's really handy, and especially if you can figure out.
I was like, it's a very handy tool.
It is. Well, because you can not only help other people by having that kind of tool, but you can also really help yourself. Because you're asking yourself the right questions, and then usually when you are leaning to something like tarot for answers to your questions, you're typically not asking the right kinds of questions, and so you're getting the wrong kinds of answers. And then when you flip your perspective on how you're reading tarot and having more of a coaching overlay to it, a coaching lens to it, you're all of a sudden asking the right questions or better questions, and you're getting better answers.
Yeah. Very true.
It sounded really, really, really grand in my head. And then I said it, and it took me a long time to say it, and then it felt like less grand.
No, it's so good. I think it's perfectly grand. I think it's amazingly grand. Perfectly grand. All right. Well, so there you go. So far, if you've listened to this whole series, go back and listen. We've got the swords as perception. How are we perceiving what's happening? What are our thoughts? We've got the wands as experience. What's the energy of the situation? What's the energy that we are bringing to a situation? And then we have the pentacles as behavior. So what are we doing on this physical earthly plane right now, and considering as informed by our childhood, because that dictates most of these experiences for us. Right?
Right.
Righty-roo. All right.
Righty-roo.
Well, be sure
Righty-roo-ski.
Yeah, to check out Tarot Throwdown or the Tarot Coach program if you have not yet at tarotthrowdown.com. But you can also find the notes for this episode over on our blog at thesistersenchanted.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave us.
Who wants to miss any episodes?
I know. Leave us a review. That's very helpful. Your reviews are super helpful in making sure other people find this podcast. And, I guess that's it. Until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted
rest of your day ahead.